बोलिए सतगुरु महाराज जी की जय, सच्चे दरबार की jai. Today is a Mother's Day, so I want to wish all the mothers a very, very happy Mother's Day. For those who've been attending discourses at Divya Jyoti, at Divine Light, in discourses, it is always stressed upon meditation, that one should meditate. Because all of our scriptures, all of our saints have said one thing, is through meditation one can realize their higher self. One can realize what purpose we were born with in this world. And through meditation one can attain peace, one can attain realization of God. So, as it is required in order for us to do anything, there are prerequisites. There are pre-requirements that are always needed to be fulfilled before we can advance in that path. Just like when you go to med school, you must go to college. Before you can walk, you must learn to crawl. Before you can sow the seed, you must prepare the land so that seed can grow in that. Same exact way. In order to advance in meditation, there are some prerequisites, pre-requirements that should be fulfilled, and that will allow you to advance. One time, 3 friends got together at night, they got drunk, and then they decided that they want to go to the next city and see how life is there. So they decided to get in a boat and to row themselves to the next city. They decided they will take turns, and when one would get tired, the other one would start rowing, and then they would keep going until they reached the city. And for many hours, they were switching and they taking turns and they were rowing and working hard. When it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, they all got tired and they fell asleep. When they woke up in the morning, they looked around and they saw that this city looks very similar to their old city where they live. Then they saw other things that were exactly the same way. And they went out of the boat and they asked somebody, what's the name of the city? And the name that the person said was the name of their own city. And then they realized that they were in fact in their own city. They didn't go anywhere. So what happened? They did row all night. They did put in the hard work that they needed to do. But they did not reach anywhere. The reason was they forgot to untie the boat. So even though they were working hard and they were putting in all the strength, yet they were still at the same spot after all that hard work. Because the prerequisite, the requirement for them to move forward was first to untie the boat. So even in spirituality, when we meditate and we want to advance, there are some prerequisites, there are pre-requirements that one must fulfill if they want to go further on that path. Sometimes people come and they ask me that they are meditating, but they're not advancing, they're not getting anywhere. It is because the prerequisites are not met yet. And those requisites are, you must let go all the negative emotions, untie all the negative knots of emotions that you have tied up in your heart and mind. Hate that we possess for anyone in life, jealousy, envy, all these negative emotions that we will hold inside will prevent us from advancing in meditation. When someone does wrong to us or have brought pain in our life, we want to punish them. But who are we to punish anyone? And how do we know what punishment is the exact result of the pain that they have caused us? We do not know. So saints and sages have said that let go, do not hate. If you want to advance in life, if you want to advance in meditation and spirituality and realize and gain spiritual experiences, you must let go hate, envy, jealousy. All these emotions will only hold you back. One time Buddha lived in a town where he was preaching the message of truth. In the same town lived a man who would come and listen to him, listen to his discourses, and he was following the path of spirituality. That man had relatives who were very wicked-minded, who were very greedy. And one time, they all got together, came to his house, and took all his possessions forcefully, took all his belongings. Basically, they robbed him. But what did that man do? He did not do anything. He did not want to press any charges. He did not want to retaliate. He just accepted it. Well, the word spread in the town, and it got to the council of the town, and a lot of people gathered to talk about it. While they were gathered, Buddha passed by, and he went and he inquired what had happened. And they told him what that man's relatives have done. And they were discussing what they should do, how they should punish them, how they should do whatever they can. But the Buddha said, if the man doesn't want to do anything, then you should let it be. But they were like, this is wrong, this cannot happen here. So Buddha told them a story. Buddha said, long time back, in the mountains of Himalaya, I was born as an elephant. And I would gaze around, I would walk around in the valleys of that area. And finally I came under a tree where I would sit and I would eat the leaves and I would rest there. But in that tree lived some monkeys which were very wicked-minded, and they were mischievous, and they would always jump on me, and they would bother, and they would pull on a tail, pull on a trunk, bite my ears, and they would be very, very annoying, and they would bother me so much. One day the spirit of the tree spoke to the spirit of the elephant and said, you are so strong, you are so big, why don't you stop them? Why don't you punish them? And the spirit of the elephant said, it is not my place to punish them. I don't want to create any knots in my heart for them. I don't want to be part of their punishment. So the spirit of the tree said, then who will punish them? And the spirit of the elephant said, only God can punish them. Because God has a perfect system. He has a perfect punishment for each sin that anyone commits. And saying that, the elephant left. The next day, different elephant came and sat under the tree. Those monkeys thought it was the same elephant, so they could do whatever they want to do. And the elephant would not say anything or do anything. So they started jumping and pulling and doing all the things that they did to the previous elephant. But that elephant wasn't so nice. The elephant kicked them, threw them off with his trunk, and stepped on them and really badly injured them and hurt them. So Buddha said, God served justice and punished them, and I did not have to be a part of it. I did not have to tie any knots of anger or hate in my heart. But they were punished. Then Buddha continued that in this life, that elephant is that man who's following a spiritual path, who wants to uplift. And those relatives are those wicked monkeys who came to do the same thing they did at that time. But It is his choice. If he wants to uplift, if he wants to free himself, he must leave it up to God, because only God can do perfect justice. So one person spoke and said that we should stand up to the people who commit sin and punish them. Buddha said, if your journey is towards God, if you want to uplift in spirituality, then leave everything to God, because only God will serve justice, which will be perfect for their actions and crimes. Buddha said those who are walking on a spiritual path and want to uplift, they should leave everything up to God. Those who are becoming selfless, those who are walking the path of truth, then God will do justice to them. And these words that Buddha spoke, you should listen and also read it on the screen, because they will hold great meaning to our own life. The actions that we perform, what results and rewards and punishment they hold, and what opposite reactions they have, we should understand it very deeply in our hearts and minds. He said, who harms the man who does no harm, or strikes at him who strikes him not, shall soon some punishment incur, which his own wickedness begot. One of the gravest ill in life, either a loathsome dread disease, or sad old age, or loss of mind, or wretched pain without surcease, or conflagration, loss of wealth, or of his nearest kin, he shall see someone die that's dear to him, and then he will be reborn in hell. These are the words that Buddha spoke, and these are the punishment he said God will give to those who will commit sin against righteous people or selfless people, or the people who are walking on God's path of truth. And that is why Lord Krishna told Arjuna that a man has only right to perform actions, but the results only God will deliver. When that karma, when that action will become fruitful, and how it will become fruitful, only God knows. That is why he says, Karmanne vadikaraste ma fleshu kadachin. Oh Arjuna, you only have the right to perform action. The fruit is in God's hand. And that is why we should always think before we act, before we do anything. And if we want to advance on a spiritual path, if we want to advance in meditation, we should not tie any knots of hate, jealousy, or any ill emotion in our heart for anyone. Otherwise, it will only hold you back, it will only hold you down, and it will become a great obstacle on your spiritual journey. One time, a man really hated Lord Buddha. He could not stand the peace he possessed, the wisdom he possessed, and the calmness that always reflected on his face. So one day as he was walking and he saw Lord Buddha meditating in front of his hut, he could not control his anger. He took a burning log and threw at the Buddha. Somehow the log hit something and flew back at the man and hit him. When the burning log hit him, his clothes got caught on fire and he started to burn. And he started screaming out of pain. Hearing this, Buddha's disciples came and they tried to help. And by the time they put the fire out, the man was badly burned. Seeing this, Buddha got up from his meditation, went close to the man who was laying on the ground, sat beside him, took his head, put in his lap, and with eyes filled with love and compassion, said to the man, untie the knots. Untie the knots of hate in your heart, and you will be saved. Hearing these words, the man died. he died in Buddha's lap. Seeing this scene, the disciples looked at Buddha and asked, was he saved? What happened to him? Did he go to heaven? What did Buddha said? Buddha said, no, he did not. He went to hell. Only because he could not untie the knots of hate in his heart. So dear friends, let us all untie all the knots of hate, any grudge, any ill feeling towards anybody. And then with the prayer in feet of the Lord, a prayer to the Master, asking for his help, asking for inner strength, power to forgive, let us move forward on the spiritual journey. Only then you will be able to uplift. Only then you will be able to advance and taste the nectar that you were born to taste. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop, because they will not do you any good. They will only hold you back. If you want to advance, if you want to gain something meaningful in life, if you want to uplift, let go of all these ill feelings and sow the seeds of purity, sow the seeds of good intentions and compassion and love in your heart, because whatever you will sow, so shall you reap. If you will hold hate in your heart, your life will be tied down and you will only experience very low levels of human life. But if you will sow the seeds of love, you will taste the fruit of liberation. You will taste peace in your life. You will gain self-realization. So you decide what you want to do. Saint Kabir beautifully said, "Boye ped babul ka, aam kahan se khaye?" Meaning, if you will sow the seeds of a thorny acacia, a tree that only bears thorns, if you sow the seed of that plant, do not expect mangoes on that tree. Only thorns will be received. But if you sow the seed of a mango, you will only receive mangoes, you will not receive thorns. So you decide what you want to do in your life. But if you want to advance, this is the mother advice of all advices. This is the pre-requirement of advanced meditation. This is the prerequisite of spirituality, of your spiritual journey. Untie the knots of hate, jealousy, or any ill feeling that you hold in your heart for anyone in this world, and you will uplift and you will advance. So dear friends, continue your meditations, fulfill the pre-requirements and prerequisites, and you will see success on your journey. You will see the fruits of your hard work. Let God do the perfect justice in your life. You focus on your spirituality. You walk the path of righteousness, and God will take care of everything in your life. So keep meditating, keep focusing on yourself, keep uplifting, and until next time, God bless. Jai Marji Ki to everyone.